back. You've joined me on a reconnaissance ride today. We're heading over the Brynderwyns hills, heading south, coming back from Northland, over the hills and heading back towards Auckland. And the reason I wanted to do this was I've got a ride coming up in a couple of months' time, and I've been up north to check the state of the roads and thought, well, no better time to check whether the Brynderwyns are passable, either northbound or southbound, on the way back. So I haven't been over the Brynderwyns since, well, at least since the beginning of the year when the rains came and made a mess of everything, of all the roads. And the Brynderwyns have been, as a pathway, State Highway 1 has been periodically shut or unavailable at various times over the last, I guess, 6 months. It's been a bit of a lottery whether it's open or not. Sometimes I'm really never quite sure. Is it open? Well, the best way to find out is to take a ride, have a look for myself. So that's what we're doing. We're heading up towards the summit, and as you can see on the way up here, this is generally a 2-lane road. It's been coned off all the way up until a little bit further along here, where there's been, well, damage to the left hand side of the road. They're making sure that nobody's on it. They've coned it off, they've put up the barriers. And I thought, well, okay, this is how it's going to be, and then we might run into a stop-go operation further up the hill, but instead no. It opens out, we return to a 2-lane road, which is very welcome, and all of a sudden we've got clear air. We can really start to move, which was an unexpected treat. I didn't really think that this would happen. Now this is on a weekend day, it's on a Saturday over Matariki weekend, so it is the middle of a holiday weekend, so again, could have been a lot of traffic or not. As it happens, I chose this as Saturday afternoon, probably getting on towards about 3 o'clock in the afternoon at this stage, so traffic's pretty light. And we're able to make good pace up here. I thought we'd be crawling up here, maybe stop-go, having a lane split here and there, but the roadway travelling in both directions. We're travelling southbound here, heading up towards the summit, and we can see also that the northbound lane is also unimpeded. No traffic coming up, but yeah, it's unimpeded. They're able to travel as well. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of evidence of the slips that kept this road out of commission for quite some length of time, and just trying to figure out where these issues were. Clearly back down at the beginning of the rise with the coning off, there must have been some fall away on the left hand side of the road where they're trying to keep traffic away from the left hand side lane heading up the hill. And as we're coming over the summit, I haven't so far seen a whole lot of reasons to think, well, this road's diabolical. It's actually looking pretty good. As we come over the top though and start heading down the southern side, that's when we start to see a little bit more evidence of slips. As you can see to the left here, the hillside's fallen away there. On the right hand side coming up, heading northbound, they've blocked off a lane because the roadway started to subside a little bit there, which is not good, but on the other hand the road is still open, so we take that small blessing while we can. This is the main connecting route for heavy traffic, for all traffic through from Northland to Auckland, so it's a pretty important road. It needs to be operational at all times, but it's had a miserable run so far in 2023. Now there's hillsides here where it's coned off on the left, and you can see there's a lot of new greenery happening there, so whether that greenery has grown real quick over what was previously just exposed clay or soil, I suppose it's possible. I mean, it's been wet enough that stuff's going to grow pretty quick. But this here on the left hand side we're seeing, there's a couple of slip patches there, but a lot of this looks undisturbed for quite some time, so hasn't really been a lot of slip work going on there. We are seeing though cones again coming up on the left hand side as we're heading down, keeping us away from this part of the roadway, so there's been some obvious slippage happening on the left. I think some of it too could be for heavy vehicles to get to and from some of these slip sites to transport material out of the way. in general conditions, I'd have to say that this road is much better shape than I was picturing in my mind that it was going to be. Now, I have no doubt that the road crews have done a tremendous amount of work clearing up this before, and I'm just being maybe a bit blasé coming through here and thinking, well, what's wrong with it? Nothing wrong with it. I think it clearly was a bit of a mess, but what I'm saying is that now being July, this was July the must have been Saturday the 15th, I think, of July 2023, and the roadway looks pretty good. And to be honest, I'm having trouble imagining what on earth was it that caused the whole road to be closed for weeks at a time, or to have single lane traffic going on for weeks at a time, because I thought that the damage would be behind me there on the hillside. However, all was soon to be revealed as we get to the end of this particular straight. We can see the left-hand lane here. This is usually a two-lane piece of road where there's a lot of catching up can be done. You can get past the slower traffic and all, but they've coned off the left-hand side lane for the slower traffic all the way along here, and that's for the reason of there's been some mayhem going on the left-hand side of the road there, and the road is in a miserable shape. And if the Waka Kotahi is sealing off the road because it's in bad shape, then you know it's got to be very bad shape, because there's a lot of subpar roads out there at the moment. You kind of wonder how on earth is this thing even open. And looking ahead here is where we start to see, oh, okay, this is probably where the big problem was. And I've got my wife on the back and I'm pointing it out to her as well, not that she couldn't see it with her own eyes. The two hillsides here where there's obviously been some extensive slipping has gone on, and these hills are really just waiting to go again, I would say. If there's another tropical deluge for days at a time, I think there's every likelihood that this hillsides here may well just take another shift and come on down over the road. So I suspect that the worst of the problems were right here, which is kind of right at the tail end, at the very beginning of the foothills for the Brynderwyns. So in summary, it's open now as of July 2023, both ways, northbound, southbound. Use it if you can. Hopefully the weather's going to stay good and we'll be able to use it for a long time to come. And that's about all of my recon run. So for now, I'm going to tail this one off. Wish you all safe riding out there. Take care. Ride safe. Have fun. See you next time.